Over to you.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Okay, so just as last week, I'm going to start off by apologizing in advance if there's a lot of noise in the background on my side. It's a Sunday, sorry, not a Sunday, it's a Saturday morning and it gaan so 'n bietjie bos my kant met my kindertjies. But I think we all understand it. I think we are on our way to somewhat master working with children that is just all over the place because that is what we're called to do. So welcome to all the leaders. I had some tech difficulties this morning, but you know what? I think it all aligns so perfectly with our topic for today. We are speaking about spiritual well-being, and while my tech is pulling somewhat of a tantrum on my side, not wanting to work with me, just like the kiddos. Um, this is where I feel spirituality comes in so perfectly because what do you do when you find yourself in a situation where nothing is working with you? Literally nothing is working with you. Your technology is not working with you, your students are not working with you, your fellow peers is not working along with. So then what do? You reach within. So one, there's not going to be any visuals today, but that is why I say I feel that it all aligns because spirituality is something that comes from within. It's not something without, it's something within. And the first question that was going to be on my slide was actually going to ask, is spirituality a state of religion?
So
So
sorry,
no,
Laurie-Ann. Laurie-Ann,
sorry.
I'm
Yes,
sorry to
yes.
interject. Is there any way that you can send your slides and Henry can share it for us?
My laptop is not even starting up right now.
Okay,
So
okay, fine,
unfortunately not.
fine.
Um yeah. So spirituality is it's something within and it's definitely not a state of religion. However, it does not go against religion. It somehow flows into religion. Religion is a outer state, rules that we have to part with and go about. Where spirituality is, like I said, it's something that comes from within. Spirituality is not something that you can see. It's more of, it's not a visualization. It's something that the eyes cannot see, something that the eyes cannot comprehend, but it's something that you will feel. And sometimes you feel it so intense that it's almost to the extent where it's a sound that comes to part with it. You feel it, but you feel it so tangibly that you can almost hear it. And so I want to speak about misalignment and how God designed us and how man created us. There's actually a difference. Now, while there's no visuals today, if you can find yourself in a comfortable position while you are listening to this presentation today, even if you can just lay down or sit somewhere where there's not too much distractions. Um, like I said, misalignment. God creates us one way and man forms us another way. This is a form of purpose versus identity today. So God designs us with a purpose. You are created with a purpose. And then us in our imperfected ways try to go about the way we think we are to with our lives and those that we are to rear in life as well. The God designed you is within. It's something that the eye cannot see, and this is why it makes it so difficult for us and those that rears us because we can't see it. We can't identify it. It doesn't stand. So we are speaking to teachers and leaders. It doesn't say when you are born, when you walk around. There's no words on your outer body that says teacher, leader, educator, pastor, accountant, student. So we don't see this when we have children. They don't come with labels and tags that says this one is to work in the education sector, this one is to work in the entertainment sector. It does not say that. See, our God designed identity, our purpose is unseen. We cannot see it with our physical I. And so we as men, we take what we are given and we try our utmost best to work with what was given us in the right way. Many times we try to do it in a good way. And this is a lesson on its own, but there's a huge difference between doing a good thing and doing the right thing. And many times we try to do good things, but somehow this misaligns us from our purpose because good things does not, it's not always the right thing. So we tend to get misaligned from our purpose because we don't always know. And then we go out trying to do all these good things that is going to help us on our journey in life. And I don't know if any of you ever felt some form of void, like you know that there's more. That feeling like, I think there's that song, There's Gotta Be More to Life. This song, I say, Orico. So that song, There's Got to Be More to Life. I used to love that song as a teenager. But I don't know if you ever felt that, like there's got to be more to life. I don't know what it is, but I just feel like there's got to be more to life. And what creates our identity is the environment we find ourselves in, the family we are born into, or the family that took us in, that reared us in life, the community we reside in, our friends, our profession where we work. The environment literally helps form our identity. And it doesn't it doesn't have to be a state of, am I at the wrong place in my life? Was Am I not supposed to be doing this? Then why is it that I find myself, because I am actually really frustrated and I wish I could just give up. I just needed that word to say that, ah, no, you actually, no, you completely misaligned. You are supposed to be in a completely different profession. You're supposed to be doing something completely other than what you are doing. The people that guides you in life, your parents, your guardians, there's certain personalities and certain characteristics that they see, that they help form and help guide you with. So it's not to say you find yourself in the wrong position in life. It's not what is given you, but it's how you use what is given you. And sometimes we feel limited because we don't physically have what we feel that we need within the position we find ourselves. And that is where the spirituality well-being comes in. It's a digging deeper. It's actually identifying, because many times we are on this journey of, there's got to be more to life, there's got to be more to life, but I don't even know what the more is. Like, we know there's more, but we cannot say what the more is. We are on this journey seeking to find something, but we don't even know what it is. So it's very important to slow down and try to identify, but what is that thing? What is that thing on the inside? What is it named? What does it look like? What does it feel like? Try to identify what that thing is on the inside that screams out more, 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 more. That thing has a name. That thing has a shape. That thing itself has an a identity and a purpose. But while you are just on this journey seeking, and you don't know what you're seeking for, you're going to find yourself in a quest of going nowhere slowly. And that is what we want to draw a line with and say, no, 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 can we stop quickly? Can we look at what this actually is? And once we are able to identify it, then we can pursue this journey based on this specific thing that now has a name, that now has an identity and a purpose. And so I want to ask you today, have you ever asked yourself, like, who am I? Like, who am I? Why am I here? And who am I actually? I'm not talking about your name. I'm not talking about, I am Lottie Ann and I'm a daughter from four others, and I'm married, and I always say I'm married to one husband and I've got three gorgeous children. I'm not talking about that Lottie Ann. I'm not talking about that leader. I'm talking about the purpose within. I'm not talking about your identity. Your identity is easy for us to see. We identify you very quickly. Yes, this is Dr. Dorothy Isso. She's the one that runs EduFocus. She's the one that has a heart for the teachers, that goes way out and above for the teachers. But who is on the inside of Dr. Dorothy? What steers her? What causes her to move? What leads her so passionately? Because I don't think that anybody could have given her that passion. Anybody could have given her that desire and that zeal to run in the capacity that she is running. So where does that come from? That comes from within. So I'm going to ask you again, who am I? Who are you? Ask yourself that question as you listen to the sound of my voice today. Who am I? If you can repeat yourself wherever you find yourself, just ask yourself, who am I? Besides my identity, besides my name, besides my responsibilities. And with that, I want to ask you, with responsibility, sometimes responsibility forces us into a position other than our inner desires. Now, can you for a moment just picture the inner desires? Like, think about that thing that you've always wanted to do. It's different maybe to what everybody else in your world is doing, but you've always wanted to pursue this specific thing. You've always wanted to do this specific thing. You always wanted to go check out this specific thing. It's the inner desire. Sometimes we don't even speak about our inner desires because it's so different to the people in our world. And sometimes our responsibilities, being our world, forces us into a direction opposite to our inner desires. And I'm going to repeat the first portion again: purpose versus identity. God designed purpose, it's on the inside, and man created identity is on the outside. So focus for a second on you, me as the individual. Forget about the responsibilities that is attached to you, and think about what are those inner desires that I actually don't speak about. What is that thing that I actually really want to pursue but I don't? What is that thing that I really want to do it but I can't because the children or my spouse or my parents, my responsibility, my world right now just does not allow me to pursue it. And while you've had this inner desire for so long and not necessarily pursued it because your world has pushed you into an opposite direction, how have you been using that? While that inner desire is on the inside of you, sometimes we do little bits of things. And last week I asked a question based on um, what frustrating situation that you may have been on um, made you do something in a way that you never necessarily thought you would have, and within that, a strength was released. Now, this question is very much the same. What is the inner desire that you have within that you sometimes don't even speak about? Like it's one of those things that you just feel that you cannot speak about it because your environment doesn't allow you to be able to live within it. But there's little bits of things that comes out piece by piece, not to the extent that you wish you could do it or move in it, but sometimes there's certain things that you do. How do you sometimes maneuver it? How do you sometimes put it into action even if it's not the way that you would want it to look? What are the strengths that comes out of that? Can you identify certain strengths that comes to part with these things that you do even if it's not the way you want to, but it somehow brings you a little closer to that inner desire? You find yourself doing it even if you didn't do it intentionally. It just comes naturally. I'll speak about myself very, very quickly, just to make a quick example. So I I never really knew what I want to pursue. I could never really say that I want to be a teacher, or I want to be a pastor or a counselor. I just never knew what my personal desires are, or that's what I thought. Until I one day realized, you know what, I actually know what I want to do, but I find myself in the position where I feel that I don't deserve to do that. Like, I'm not qualified to do that. Who am I to be doing this? This is a little bit too big for me. My environment, hulle gaan nou dink ek hou vir my. Ooh, this just goes against the rules. This just, it's not that it breaks the rules, but it puts me on a level higher and above what my identity says I actually am. It puts me on a level higher than the way my community does things. It puts me in a complete different direction to what my family does. And so it's not always that I didn't know what it was. I knew I could identify my desires, but I was always too ashamed to say what it was, because people would think ek hou vir my kwaai. Jy dink te veel van jouself. Nee, come like level down, girl. Level down. And that is just what it is. A state of spirituality. It's something bigger than what you are. It's something bigger than what you currently have. But the thing is, it's within you. And that is why many times we feel so frustrated, because we are not able to release that thing within us. We don't know how to release that bigger thing within us, and the space within, as we go about in life and we learn new things. As we learn new things, our capacity is enlarged, which means it somehow starts to make a room for us to live out this inner purpose within us. But it's a state of mind. Though my capacity is enlarged, I still have these labels attached to me, which which is not going to sit so well for the world. And many times we feel that we need the world to help us. I used to feel, yo, if only I had someone that could help me. If only I had someone that could give me the tools or take my hand and just help me on this mission, because I know I can do it. I'm just not sure how to do it. But more than often we don't get that hand. More than often we don't get the tools that we think of that we need. More than often, it's the challenges within life that awakens and highlights. It literally puts a spotlight on our strengths and our potential to release what's on the inside of us. The pressures of life sometimes drives us to a place of doing things that we are so afraid of actually doing. It's not that I cannot do it, but I'm scared to do it. And so challenges of life comes our way not to harm us. Challenges of life comes to knock on our door, not to destroy us, but it actually comes to help us. Because if those challenges was not going to come to knock on your door, then you would continue your life in the comfort zone that you have the whole time. I am able to work within this community that I find myself within, this family. I'm able to do what they need me to do, what I think they need me to do. I'm able to suppress all this desires that I have and all of this extra talents and skills that I have. I'm able to suppress it to meet the world, my world, where I feel they need me to be. And many times we act this way because we feel we need them. And if we are going to do things that is going to scare them, they are going to leave us. They are going to say certain things about us. We are so consumed by thinking that we need the world that we do not realize how much the world actually needs us and our purpose. and the things that God has invested within us, those inner things that is so easy to hide. We get misaligned with what our eyes sees. We get misaligned by what is going on in the world. So much so that we neglect what is going on within us. And you've got a certain tool that your world needs that you have been suppressing. You've got the master key to a specific, and hear me clearly. You've got a master key that can unlock many doors. But there's one specific door that needs to be unlocked within this season that you find yourself right now. What is my purpose? I want you to ask yourself, what is my purpose? I've been given this key, and yes, it's easy for me to unlock many doors for everybody. But what am I actually supposed to, like, what is the main purpose of this? There's one specific stronghold within your environment, whether it be your family, whether it be your workplace, whether it be at church or wherever, whatever your world looks like, whatever your responsibilities are. There's one door that has been closed for a long time that only you can open, that only you can occupy in the way that space needs to be occupied. What is the meaning to life and my life? If I should do a sum up of a testimony within my life, I used to think spiritual well-being is religion, and that is why I started off by asking, is spiritual well-being a set of religion? No. Religion is man-made. Spirituality is God designed. My life, or my environment, my world always looked different to how I felt, which always made me feel different. And I used to think that my difference is is wrong. I used to think that my difference is a default. It's not right. I shouldn't use it. It makes me an outcast within the world that I find myself in. My difference, which was so clear because of my environment, I'll mention it to you now. I spoke different. I used to speak different to the people within my world, the people within my community. And once upon a time, people and actually, in actual fact, my speech, the way I speak was formed when I was grade 1. My grade 1 teacher was a foreigner at the time. And because this is foundational phase, obviously we as the children, we repeat everything in a specific way it's given us. So I would go home and I would speak the way my teacher speaks. And ultimately it was different to the way my family speaks. I changed schools when I was grade 3 and I went to a different school. And to them, it was the funniest thing. I was laughed at when I would speak. They would laugh at me when I would speak, which made me feel ashamed. So waar hulle gedink het nee, die girlie hou vir haar kwaai, het die girl nie eers verstaan wat aangaan nie. Like, to me it was, but this is what I was taught. This is what I know. So now I feel like an outcast. They are making fun of me. They are picking on me, and I silenced myself. But if we do a quick timeline from me being foundation phase to me being an adult right now, what aligns to my profession, my purpose? to speak. To speak, y'all. I've got an upper hand now. People contact me and ask me, are you willing to speak at this conference? Are you willing to speak at that conference? And this was something that I suppressed for so long. The way I speak, I always had a desire. I'm an extrovert. I love speaking. I love communicating. But I stopped doing this. During adolescence, I was ashamed because it's different. The way I speak is different to my environment. My purpose came to the forefront in a manner I never thought it would. My father was, I don't know if I mentioned this last week, but my father was he was a drug addict, which caused my mother to go into, she was mentally ill. And now you can start putting things together when you know who I am. I introduce myself. Hi, I am Lori Ann Marx, specialized counselor and ordained pastor. I focus on Christians and post-traumatic stress disorder. See how this all aligns. My father used to be a deacon in church, but he backslid, fell into drugs. Mother couldn't handle it. She had a mental breakdown. She was mentally ill. Here, this little girl stands. So, church, y'all church people are messed up, folks. That is what I thought as a young girl because of what happened in my world. My mother being mentally ill, I had to do everything, try to do everything to help her because we had a little baby in the house as well. She had a little newborn child and she couldn't manage. She couldn't. She mentally she was not able to. And so from a very young age, and I encourage you to zoom on zoom in on those mishaps that happened in your life. What are the things that went horribly wrong? What are the challenges that was not supposed to happen? What are all those wrong things that was not supposed to happen to you because it was unfair, you didn't deserve it from a young age? I didn't deserve to be a 10-year-old having to run around and try to find my father, to see to it that he's at home, to go knock on doors and tell people, please don't let my dad come here. Please let him come home. And mommy's not okay. I didn't deserve to um always be on my tiptoes to see to it that my mother's got everything she needs. What I deserved was a very good childhood. I was supposed to be playing outside. I was supposed to be having fun. I was not supposed to worry about the things in the house. And that was what was unfair. That was the challenges that came knocking on my door. That was the mishaps in my life. But do you see how the mishaps and the challenges in my life came to help me, came to work with me and not against me, came to awaken strength that was sleeping, came to highlight talents and skills and potential. That today I know my purpose is to help to help religious leaders, help Christian leaders. My dad was a deacon, but he backslid and he fell into drugs. There's root causes to all of that. There's certain categories to all of that. It's what I do today. I have workshop with religious leaders to help them not miss it. Don't miss it. See these certain things and use it in the way that you can with the purpose and the gifts and talents that God has given you. The thing that I love the most in life is to help people suffering with mental illness. Where did it all start? I've got this unapologetic approach when I speak about church leaders, when I speak about Christians and mental health, because many of these things are frowned upon. But me, right now, I speak. I used to not want to speak because they laughed at me when I speak. But I understand that God was forming me for times such as this when I come onto EduFocus and I speak to teachers that has purpose within their lives, when I come to speak to teachers that has a unique purpose, that has a tribe that needs them, to let teachers know, I know you feel that you need a lot of people. I know you feel that you need the world to help you. But do you know that the world needs you much more than you think you need the world? I now speak unapologetically about purpose and identity because I understand that when challenges came, I had a mindset shift. And if there's anything that you remember today, leaders, then I want you to remember this. The mindset shift came, the chains was broken. The limitless or the limitful way of thinking and doing things was broken when I saw this differently. That challenges didn't come to break me down. That challenges didn't come against me. That challenges didn't come to break me. But challenges came to enlarge my capacity. And so my territory is expanded. Challenges came to show me, hey, Lottie, you can do it this way. Challenges came to awaken the sleeping strengths. Challenges came to show me that my identity can only bring me so far, but my purpose can bring me or take me so much further. And not just me, but the tribe that has been assigned to me. So this is me ending off. I want you guys to reflect on four questions for the rest of the week. These four questions are: who am I? What do I want? What is my purpose? And what is the meaning of life? I'm going to repeat that four questions and then I'm going to hand over to Dr. Dorothy. So, the four questions that I want you to ponder on, that I want you to reflect on for the rest of this week is: who am I? What do I want? What is my purpose? And what is the meaning of my life? What is the meaning of life? Thank you so much for your time. Thank you for the listening ear. Thank you for the opportunity. Thank you.
Oh, wow. Fantastic, Lorianne. Thank you so very much.